In this video, we take a look at some of the less-known facts about the most profitable company in the world, Apple Inc. The company is on track to become the first trillion-dollar company, but there were a lot of things you might have missed on, mostly because the company isn't proud of or simply didn't get that much coverage compared to the shiny products they sell now. Let's take a look at 15 things you might not know about Apple. Number 1. Apple actually had 3 founders. We all know that Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak put together the first Apple computer in the garage of Woz's parents' home in Cupertino, California, but few know there was a third guy working along with them, Ronald Wayne, a friend of Jobs from when they both worked at Atari, and he agreed to help start Apple with him. Not only did he help develop the computer, he wrote its manual and even came up with Apple's first logo. When he realized Apple might not make it, he sold his shares to Steve's for $800. A real bad move. That share would be worth something like $40 billion now. Wayne now sells stamps and coins in a Nevada trailer park. Number 2. Apple was started with a calculator. To start the company, Jobs sold his VW microbus and Woz sold his calculator. That might sound pretty one-sided now, but the fact is that the scientific calculator was worth more than the van back then. Woz managed to sell it for $500. That's around $2,000 in today's money. Number 3. Steve Jobs is the son of a Syrian immigrant. Few people know that Steve Jobs was adopted. Even fewer know that his father was Abdul Fattah Jandi, a Syrian immigrant that got Joanne Schriebel pregnant in college. Due to parental issues, the baby was put up for adoption, and although the mother insisted the baby be adopted by educated people, young Steve was adopted by Paul Jobs, a high school dropout, and Clara Jobs, who hadn't finished college. John Dolly, who manages a Nevada casino, never met his son, but the two did exchange brief emails just before Jobs died. Number 4. In 1986, Apple started a clothing line. You might have never heard of it because the project failed completely. They called it the Apple Collection, and the idea is far from the modern, sleek, minimalist, and timeless design that makes Apple products the sensation they are today. It's hard to picture Turtleneck Steve wearing a tracksuit in rainbow-colored Apple logo. Number 5. Apple owns the patent for the Slide to Unlock feature. Apple is currently suing Samsung, claiming patent infringement over this. A judge has already overturned Apple's patent claims to Slide to Unlock in Germany. Number 6. Apple's iPad's Retina display is actually manufactured by Samsung. Apple found out that outsourcing their Retina display to Samsung is actually cheaper than creating the infrastructure to build it themselves. Also, it's an incredibly lucrative contract that gives Apple slight leverage with Samsung. Number 7. Steve Jobs invented the computer mouse by stealing it from Xerox. Back in the early computer years, in order to click on something, you had to insert rows of code that would tell the cursor where on a grid it should go and what action you wanted it to perform. While visiting Xerox's research center, he noticed a 3-button mouse that would have been perfect for his Apple interface. The only problem is that it costed $300, so he had the team drop one of the buttons and the cost down to $15. Number 8. Jonathan Ive has worn the same t-shirt in every Apple product intro video since 2000. Same as Steve, Apple's lead designer wears the same type of clothing in all official releases. They come in lovely dad shades of earth tones, and they are made by a company called G-Star. Number 9. The Mac battery is bulletproof. In case of horrific events, the battery inside your MacBook could potentially save your life, as it was made to be bulletproof. Number 10. Bill Gates stole Windows from Apple. In a similar fashion how Mark Zuckerberg stole the Facebook idea from the Winklevoss twins, Steve Jobs tasked Bill Gates with creating an operating system for Apple. After developing the product, Bill saw its standalone potential and decided to never deliver it and started selling Windows on his own. Number 11. Steve Jobs forced Microsoft to save Apple Inc. In 1997, Apple was running out of cash. Their legal battles with Microsoft were going on for so long and costing them a ton of money, so Steve offered Bill Gates the possibility of a settlement of $150 million for non-voting shares at Apple. Microsoft promised to support Microsoft Office for the Mac for 5 years, while Apple agreed to make Internet Explorer the default web browser on the Mac, but not the only one. Number 12. The most expensive iPhone in the world costs $15 million, covered in gold and diamonds. Number 13. Apple has more cash on hand than the US Treasury. Not only does Apple have more, but it has at least 4 times the amount of money. As of 2015, the US Treasury has around $50 billion in cash, while looking at Apple's balance sheets show it has over $200 billion cash on hand. To put it into perspective, Apple is currently worth more than the entire Russian stock market put together. Number 14. If Apple were to go on a shopping spree, it could buy almost 80% of the top 500 companies in America. To make things interesting, Apple could buy both Netflix and Tesla with the earnings from only one yearly quarter. Netflix has a cap of $23 billion, and Tesla is worth around $28 billion. If they wanted to, they could pick up Amazon for $90 billion and still have enough cash to buy Coca-Cola or Disney. Number 15. In the last years of his life, Steve Jobs declared war on Google. Steve said, and I quote, "I will spend my last dying breath to right this wrong. I'm going to destroy Android because it's a stolen product. I'm willing to go thermonuclear war on this. They're scared to death because they know they are guilty." In a last attempt to crumble Google's advertising empire, Apple may allow or have ad blockers pre-installed on all their devices, so you get a better experience while browsing the internet. This will be Steve's final blow towards Google, if it were to ever be put in place. Because you stuck with us till the end, we've got some extra info for you. Apple announced that it will come out with an electric car. Both Steve and Tim Cook talked with Elon about Apple acquiring Tesla, but Musk didn't want to sell. What do you think about Apple's decision to build its own electric car? Should they? Or should they simply buy GM or Ford and go from there? Let us know in the comments.
I think companies like Apple will probably make a compelling electric car. It seems like the obvious thing to do.
Thank you for spending some time with us. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. If you want more, we handpicked these videos you might enjoy. See you next time.